I be heard? Can I be heard? What's crack-a-lackin', y'all? It's your boy Venom 2 Million. We here with a stream of the liveness, live streaming it up. Y'all know what I'm talking about. How's everybody doing today? I hope everybody has had a great day. I know I have. Lord knows it's been a long one. Lord knows it's been a long day, but it's fine. We here 12:30 a.m. Where my people at? Late night live stream. And for those of y'all watching when it ain't live, welcome. I'm Venom 2 Million. First of all, let me just talk about just a little bit about what we're talking about today. It all started on Twitter. Well, actually, that's not true. Actually, it started back in 2017 when we got word that Zendaya was gonna be playing Mary Jane Watson. People lost their minds. People went nuts. Oh my gosh, Mary Jane can't be black. Like it's funny actually. People are like on YouTube. It was this one video. This dude was like yelling at the top of his lungs, like Mary Jane is not black. It was the funniest thing ever. But people were like, nah, bro, I don't know what you talking about, dog. I don't know what you talking about. But Mary Jane ain't black. She was not black in the comics. She ain't. If she black in the movies, then they just disrespecting the comics. That's disrespectful. That's what people saying. This disrespectful to the comics, right? Because Mary Jane is a character who is known for being white and having her red hair. And as comic book fans, let me tell you, we care about that. We care about the character being served, the utmost respect being put on this pedestal, because this character is very important. And if this character is not given justice, then oh my God, I'm pissed. People are mad, right? Can y'all hear me? People say the volume low. The volume low. Can y'all hear me? Let me know if I can be heard. I hope so. If I can't be, then that ain't good. Anyway, so people talking about, Mary Jane is white, and that's how she was in the comics. That's how she should be. Period. Dot. All right. Now my whole thing was this, right? Mary Jane is a character in the comics that is cold. Mary Jane is this cold character in the comics because she ain't the type of person you ain't gonna just she a boss, all right? She that ish, okay? She is a boss. You can't mess with Mary Jane Watson. First of all, she is a party girl, but she ain't really a party girl. The party girl persona is this thing that she does because she got some at home issues. She got some issues at home. You know what I'm talking. She got some stuff is bad at home. So she gets out in public, and she acts like what is the word called, an extrovert. She acts like an extrovert because it's like it makes her feel better. But she's actually not. It's not that she's an introvert, but she's an extroverted character, and she did with a lot, and she's strong. And Mary Jane is the boss, and she fine. Ooh, she fine as wine. Oh my gosh. But Peter is like, yo, I love you. And, in the comics, Mary Jane then said to Peter, no, I'm not marrying you. After he asked twice, no, I'm not marrying you. I'm not. It may have been 3 times, but I know at least. I'm not ready to get married because she is a strong woman, yo. Mary Jane is a strong woman. So I understand people got this affinity and this love for this character because this character is strong in the comics. I mean, yeah, she, love interest, and she's Spider-Man side piece. But on the other hand, she also is strong and is that business, okay? Somebody said she's pretending to be a party girl. She's not pretending, but it just stems from her at-home issues, right? She's a strong character. She has a lot of depth. So I understand people really value this character and think, y'all not about to just tread all over the character of Mary Jane. Now, Zendaya was like, I'm not playing no Mary Jane. Listen, I can assure you, I ain't playing no Mary Jane. That is not who I am. Everybody like, she is not Mary Jane, dog. But everybody like, bruh, come on. We know that's Mary Jane. Everybody, Marvel was like, dog, no. She is not. Everybody like, then you see the movie, and then you see the movie. This was hilarious. When Spider-Man Homecoming came out, it was hilarious. People were like, I told you. See, she wasn't Mary Jane. And then at the end, it's the MJ thing. People were like, that's just a nod to the character. She's not Mary Jane. Not my Mary Jane. Not my MJ. All right. Long story short, I just went through all that to say, yes, she is Mary Jane. Now, if you've watched my videos, then you know where I stand on this, okay? Mary Jane Watson is a character that is strong and everything I just described. People had an issue with Zendaya being Mary Jane because that's not faithful to the comics. Now, out of everything I done described to you just now, have we seen that adaptation of Mary Jane on the big screen? We saw her in Spectacular Spider-Man. Nah, that was pretty damn faithful. But when it comes to the big screen, did we see that? Kirsten Dunst, people talking about, oh my God, no, Zendaya doesn't even have red hair. And I am so pissed off. She needs, the red hair is iconic. She doesn't even have red hair. It's not even natural. Dog, Kirsten Dunst ain't had no natural red hair. Kirsten Dunst had that stuff. First of all, Kirsten Dunst's Mary Jane was not Mary Jane. Kirsten Dunst was not Mary Jane. That was a bastardization of the character of Mary Jane. She was this damsel in distress who was a whiny and selfish, why did Peter like her? She was just rude. I didn't like her. No. But nobody had an issue. Nobody. But Zendaya, she can't beat Mary Jane because it's not faithful to the comics. Clearly, a lot of you don't know about the characterization of Mary Jane in the comics. Because if you have a problem with just Zendaya, that just the mention before the movie came out, before we saw her, you had an issue with Zendaya being Mary Jane because of the characterization. But you was all right with Kirsten Dunst playing some character. I don't know who this character was, but it just had the name Mary Jane. She just had that name. I don't know who that was though. That's not Mary Jane. But she had the name Mary Jane. But you ain't got an issue with that. Let's bring it back. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let's bring it back. Let's, the kids. Anywho. Zendaya is not Mary Jane. She just goes by MJ. It's a nod to the character. Her real name is Michelle Jones. Okay? I care what you're talking about, Venom. So, the character's name is Michelle Jones. She says her friends call her MJ. I was thinking, now I'd had this thought before, then I'm going to get to the video, all of it. Even though this all is related, all of it is connected, it all makes sense. It's all for a purpose. I think I'm making a lot of sense right now. Mary Jane, okay, Michelle Jones. My friends call me MJ. I was saying, well, why would they call her Michelle? Now, outside of the fact that Zendaya is not white, Mary Jane is normally white, Marvel we can't call her Mary Jane. People gonna be pissed. So let's call her Michelle and let's lead up to that. That's my thought process. Let's eventually lead up to that. My thought process, right, is what if her name is actually Mary Jane, but she goes by Michelle because, honestly, 21st century, even back then, Mary Jane, marijuana, like, is weed. Use weed, you know what I'm talking about? She probably got made fun of all through school. People always talking mess about her probably. And she just said, you know what? Guess what? I'm going by Michelle because people keep making fun of me and I'm tired of messing with people. I'm about to just stay to myself. I'm about to be a loner. And because my name is not Mary, I'm Michelle. And forget all y'all. Flicking off everybody and moving on. That's probably what the story is. You see what I just did there? You see what I just broke it down. Do you see why you subscribe to Venom 2 Million? Breaking ish down over here, okay? Let's get those brains moving. So that could be a reveal. If not at the end of this movie, the new one coming out in 2 weeks, Far From Home, eventually. Or they just won't go there and they'll just keep her name MJ. Now, hold on. Why? Why, Venom? Why are you making this video? Like, where is this stemming from? Well, if you saw the thumbnail, Zendaya, Tom Holland, and the cast and the director, they had a photo call today. They took pictures out in London, and they took pictures, and Zendaya was rocking a nice old. I'm just gonna show you. Let's just stop talking. Zendaya was rocking this red hair. Why she got this red hair? Why she got this red hair now? Break that down for me. Now, people were talking about this image isn't. People are like, hold on. And I hear it. People are like, wait, whoa, Venom. Whoa, hold your horses there, Buster. You don't know what you talking about. See, idiot, stupid, unsubscribe. The thing is, Venom, there's a rumor that Zendaya, her next project, is The Little Mermaid. Or it's something that requires her hair to not be the normal color that it is. So, she right now is doing something where she got to change her hair color, just like my man Superman, Henry Cavill, had to have that mustache. She got to have her hair this way, and they just taking pictures. Gotcha! Well, I mean, you know, you might... that is 100... Actually, that is 100% correct. Yes, that... Yep, I don't have anything to say to that. But I do have something else that I could show you. And that something else that I'm going to show you is the fact that she tweeted, along with those photos, this. Face it, Tiger. ... Face it, Tiger. You just hit the jackpot. Mary Jane Watson. Mary Jane. And I now present to you Mary Jane. Mary Jane, y'all. Mary Jane. She is Mary Jane, bro. But the reason why, the reason why they didn't call her Mary Jane, there are some legal issues apparently, but I really don't think that is a factor. I think it's just they wanted to change things. They wanted to literally change up the game. They want to have people, my phone is off the hook. They want to have people surprised. And quite frankly, that's how you do it. You name her MJ, and you cast her as a black woman. And then you just do whatever, you unravel the story, and people aren't sitting there going, wow, it's Mary Jane. People, I mean, general public like us, you know, we're like, wow, that's Mary Jane. Or some people are like, whoa, that's Mary Jane. But then the general public, they're like, MJ. And then with this, they're going to be like, if it is revealed, Mary Jane? Wow. And I don't think that necessarily means that, you know, they're going to do the red hair. But I do think that her, like, tweeting that and taking the pictures is like her going. Because ultimately, that's her character. She is Spider-Man's love interest. We see in the trailer. I really like MJ. I'm going to tell her how I feel. You know, it's all like, it's not an accident. She is Mary Jane. This is this incarnation of Mary Jane. Now we about to have a dope convo. Then I'm gonna get off because it is late, your boy. Yeah, it's late. I I'm right now at my parents' house, and I can't be screaming and yelling. But let me tell you, I'm having some fun. We gonna have some fun. I want to really gonna utilize the chat because I got some stuff that we should all talk about. Um, she's black. I know you probably didn't realize she's black, and also so am I. So a lot of you already are gonna write off my opinion. You're gonna go, oh, well, a black man talking about a black woman being cast as his character. Like, I already know what you're gonna say, and it doesn't really matter. Um, and those that have that opinion, that wow, look at that mud. This is like on my lip. Those of you that have that opinion, I think there are some other issues that you have to deal with. Because if you think that my skin color, and I have seen this in my comment section before, if you think that my skin color invalidates my opinion on this matter, there are some other issues there. There's some underlying issues. And unless I say what you want me to say, then I'm fine. But if I don't say what you want me to say, then it's the problem. There's some other underlying, there's something else happening there that I can't really help you with. And have a good one. Now, I've talked on my channel a lot about certain characters, like not their race not tying to who they are. And this is a very interesting subject because on the vice versa, when the conversation or the question is always flipped to me, it's like, well, what if Black Panther was a white man? How would you feel if a white man played Black Panther? And I think it's a very interesting conversation and interesting idea. Black Panther being played by a white man wouldn't work because Wakanda is an African country. And that's not saying there aren't white people in Africa, but the character is written to be African and to have melanin, to be black. So, it wouldn't work for him to be white. People talk about Blade. The character Blade. Blade's origin deals with a jazz singer, or a jazz musician. Like it wouldn't work for him to be white. The thing is, and for those of you that don't like political conversations, I don't know what to say because it's kind of political. It is. It's a little political, but it's fine because we're gonna talk about it a tad bit. Historically, factly, just in the world in general, like period dot, media has been white, like period. And it's not because of, I'm not saying it's because of racism. I'm not saying it's because of anything. I'm just saying it is white. Media is white. And it is honestly because the majority of people within the industry are white. And it's not a problem. That's not a bad thing. That's just how it is. And it's fine. But because of that, a lot of the characters that are written and the characters that are created are white. This is quite frankly a mirror of those that are working in the industry, which is not a problem. It's not bad. Okay, the thing is, reality wise, the experience of human beings on this planet do vary pertaining to race. And when it comes to the experience of a lot of characters that are white, if they were to be replaced if their skin color was to be different, that narrative wouldn't necessarily change. Which is a little, that could piss some people off me saying that, but it wouldn't. There are certain characters, not all characters, not all characters is works, not all white characters is works, but there are certain characters, white characters, where if if a black man was to step into that role, it wouldn't change the core of that character. Mary Jane Watson, her red hair is iconic, yes, and her red hair is one of her staples, but the fact that she's a white woman isn't like the end all be all. But I also understand some people saying, well, how could she be black and have naturally red hair? I mean, I get that. That makes sense. Yes, how can she be black and have naturally red hair? You know, I'm sure there are cases of it. I don't know any of it, and I ain't gonna I ain't gonna be over here talking about it. But I will say that in terms of the character, her character is bigger than her hair and how she looks. And people over here, like, I get offended as a Spider-Man fan where people continuously want to talk about these characters and literally just sum them up with their appearance. Like, no, these characters are more than their appearance. People don't care about Spider-Man because he's a white dude. People care about Spider-Man because of his story, because they relate to his story. It's the same way with all these characters. People want to get mad about Zendaya being Mary Jane because she's black. Talk about that's not in line with the comics. Dog, you just had a franchise that we love, that we absolutely love, that is one of the staples of superhero films, and it completely bashed her character. And you have a problem with that because she's white? But now you got a black woman that can be this character, and now it's like, oh my God, they're just not. They're not. They're not following the comics. It's like, what? They weren't following the comics before. This isn't something new. Us as comic book fans, no, they don't follow the comics. They be doing whatever the hell they want. They be like, all right, so this is Spider-Man. Okay, this is the idea. So we're going to have to get bit by a radioactive lizard. And you go with it. Okay. You know, but we know that. We know what the film industry does, right? And we never complained about it before, and that's not true. People do complain about it, but it's just, for me, it strikes a nerve where when people begin to talk about the appearance of some of these characters as if that is the character, as if Mary Jane is only a beautiful woman with red hair. Mary Jane is a human being. Okay. Mary Jane is a character that has a lot of struggles that have built her to this level of strength where she, after, like, within the story, as it continues, when Peter and her's marriage is erased, her life continues, and she works for Tony Stark. Like, she moves up. She's not just a damsel in distress. She's not just eye candy. And people wanted to just mark her up to being just some nice ass with some red hair. Like, what, dog? Like, you have an issue with Zendaya being Mary Jane because she's black, because that's not faithful to the comics? Like, really? Do you even know who the character Mary Jane is in the comics? Do you? Really? No, you don't. Because if you did, you wouldn't be complaining about this adaptation being unfaithful to the comics when you weren't complaining previously. Like, oh, miss me with that bullish, okay? All right, swerve on it. But for real, like, does that make sense? I think I'm making a lick of sense. If I'm not, please put it in the chat. Help me out. Let me know. And then people talk about, it's this, oh my gosh, the one video that I have. If you want to have a good laugh, y'all, or maybe not. It may not be a laugh. Some people may agree. And it's fine. My whole thing, I love engaging in these type of conversations. These conversations that people are a little nervous to engage with. Because for me, I don't have, my political affiliation doesn't, like, I can be like I believe in the rent is too damn high party, right? It's fine. I can be the rent is too damn high party, and you can think it is complete and utter bull. But I want to engage in that conversation. Like, I follow a great deal of people that I just do not agree with, but I listen because I want to engage in that conversation. So on my video that I put up last year before last, like as soon as I saw the movie, I was like, or before the movie came out, one of the two, I was like, yo, Zendaya's Mary Jane, period, dot, and those of y'all mad, be mad. And I was kind of talking about like what I'm talking about here a little bit. But then in the comment section, this one dude, he was writing this book. He wrote a book to me, and I was reading it, and I'm like, he was like, there's an assault on white characters, and the number of white characters in the media are dwindling, and they're being taken by people of color, and this isn't fair. And if Blade was played by a white man, things would be different. And like, so then I begin engaging in this conversation with him, and we start talking about Captain America, and he brings up the character of what's the character's name? I forgot the character off the top of my head, but basically it's a character. So within the Marvel comics, there was a after Steve Rogers was frozen, the government got like 200 and something African Americans, and they like forced them into the future, into the super soldier. They forced them to take the super soldier serum, and they became like this coalition of like super soldier people. And he was talking about that story, and he's like, yeah, like that's we already have like things like that, and then he was talking about the number of characters replacing white characters. He's talking about you got Miles Morales, you got all the other characters that are replaced and things. And my whole thing was, yo, dog, like, what are you talking about, bro? Like, first of all, media is white. Like, all characters are white. The majority of characters are white. Like, no, characters are not dwindling. What are you talking about, bro? Like, chill. Chill. Nah, it ain't like that. And he's like, yes, it is. Da, 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 da. I'm like, bro, look at the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Up until now, every black character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe was a sidekick. Like, dude. And it was 2. Like, chill. What do you do? Except for Nick Fury. Nick Fury is not. Nick Fury is the only. But, like, that makes, like, 3 headlining African-American men. 3. And, like, the whole event. So, like, I'm trying to figure out, like, what are you talking about, dude? What are you talking about? Now we got Black Panther, thank goodness. And we got all, but before, like, dog, like, bro, like, chill. What is y'all talking about? It ain't no issue. It ain't no shift. It ain't no, like, people trying to take control or take over. In media now, things are just changing. I grew up, and the reason why Spider-Man is my favorite superhero, and I'm gonna make a video about this too, because I want to continue this conversation. But the reason why Spider-Man is my favorite superhero is because my first action figure that I was given was a Spider-Man toy. And the Spider-Man toy was like, let me see if I can find it too. I want to show y'all. But the Spider-Man toy was like, he was like battle damaged, and it was from the comics. It wasn't like a movie or nothing. It was from the comics. He was like battle damaged, and his mouth was, oh, is this it? This might be it. Yeah, I think this is it, but I don't remember that white. But he was battle damaged, right? And you could see like his mouth and his legs and stuff. I don't remember if that is the one, but I'm gonna use this as the example because it looks something like this, if this is it. But like his mouth was visible, you could see his legs and stuff like that. So this was my first toy that I was given as a kid, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh snap, Spider-Man is black, because he was painted, and it was like his skin color was kind of like darker. It looked like mine, and I'm like, oh wow, Spider-Man is black. That's my first time ever hearing about the character, like this toy. I'm like, yo, this is dope. We got a superhero that's black, because on TV, the number of black people that I saw wasn't a lot. Like it was That's So Raven. All That had Kenan and Kel. At that age, I believe that was it. It wasn't a lot. Like maybe Static Shock. It wasn't a lot though. That's my point. It wasn't a lot. So like, I'm given this character, and he's like this. He's a superhero. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. And this is my first time like coming in contact with an action figure with a superhero. And I've been watching TV, and a lot of characters I see are white, which I didn't really care because I'm a kid. But like I see this, I'm like, yo, Spider-Man is black. That is crazy. I'm like 2 or 3. And then I watched the Spider-Man TV show, and guess what? He white. but for me, I had already latched on to the character. I'd already saw myself like I related with this character on that level. And that's actually where my love for the character stems from. Came from, where it started. It came from that, which is crazy. That is crazy, right? I identify with this character because I thought at first he was black. Because the number of characters that I saw on TV and in media that were black, that were positive, it wasn't a lot. It wasn't a lot, right? Things are now beginning to change where there's a lot more diversity on television and in movies and things like that, and things are being changed, and people, for some people, they get pissed off about that. They get real mad. They're like, yo, dog, like what is this, bro? why are these white people, who are people that I thought was white, why are they now being played by black people? Like, what is happening? Or some people, they get upset about that. And I guess on one hand I understand it because it comes from a lack of realization, because this isn't something that's being put in your face. You're not like sitting there watching TV and TV going, we don't have no black people. It just ain't no black people, or ain't no Asian people, or ain't no people of color, period, dot. So when things change, it can sometimes be a little jarring, but it's something that's noticeable to everyone because it's something that is not the norm. And because it's not the norm, now there's this, not apposition, but because it's not the norm, the conversation of like forced diversity comes into play. Because people don't really understand this shift. Because before, when it was all white people, it wasn't forced caucasity. I don't know, forced whiteness. But now, when you have more people of color, or women, or people that aren't in these traditional roles, now we talk about these things being forced. I don't want to get too much into it because I'm going to make a separate video about it. But my point is, like, Zendaya being Mary Jane isn't a disservice to the character because of her skin color. Now, we can talk about the portrayal of the character, but this hate or these conversations were happening way before we even saw her playing the character. Way before we even got a picture of her as the character. Like, people already were like, no. Also, on the other hand, I think it's kind of interesting because we're going to stay with Spider-Man for a long time, and we get to see her character progress, and that could be really cool. Us seeing like her in high school being maybe timid, shy, maybe her getting out of her shell, maybe her dyeing her hair and embracing, who she actually is, and saying, yeah, my name Mary Jane, y'all can make y'all weed jokes, I don't care. Like, maybe we can get there, and that to me is dope, seeing this progression of a character, that the potential of that being there is dope. But for me, I find her character a lot more interesting now than Kirsten Dunst's that character, because that rendition was not Mary Jane. And as a Spider-Man fan, I'd see it wasn't Mary Jane. I know it wasn't Mary Jane. And for the real Spider-Man fans out there, we know it wasn't Mary Jane. And I'm not going to have a problem with Zendaya being Mary Jane because she black, and not have a problem with Kirsten Dunst, and it wasn't even Kirsten Dunst's fault. I think it was just the way the character was written. It was the script. But I'm gonna have a problem. Like, excuse me, you think I ain't gonna have a problem with that? But I have a problem with this? Oh, excuse me. No. If I ain't gonna have a problem with Kirsten Dunst, then I for damn sure ain't gonna have a problem with Zendaya being Mary Jane. Because let me tell you, Zendaya. Let me stop, because this is probably gonna come back to haunt me. There we go. That is my perspective, my thought process on it. Let me know what y'all talking about. Let's look at this chat real quick. Look at this chat. What time it is? 1:05. Oh. All right, let's look at this chat. 1:05 a.m. Okay, let's go to the chat. What y'all talking about? Let's scroll it up. The red hair is more important to the skin than the skin color. Okay. Again, I think the red hair is definitely crucial to her character, or definitely a part of her character. I don't think it is I think for those that don't know who she actually is, it is like what they are, the central element of Mary Jane. But I mean, you could have Peter Parker be Spider-Man, right? But if Peter Parker is if he's like going out killing people, it's not Spider-Man. You know what I'm talking about? If he's going out shooting people with a gun, it's not Spider-Man. There's more than just the look to the person. There's more than just the look to the character. And I think we all understand that. I think it makes sense, you know. Chloe Moretz as Gwen Stacy. What do you think? I think that could be cool. I'm not really one for like fan casting. What is this? I've been doing this on my computer for a minute. Did it something? Wow, that's crazy. But yeah, I'm not really one for like fan casting. But you know, Chloe Grace Moretz is great. You know, I think actors in general, like actors' jobs are to become a character, become a person. As long as they can do that, then what's the problem? What the problem is? Let's see. Can I just say that I have no problem with Zendaya playing Mary Jane? I just hate the fact that they changed her name to Michelle Jones. I think like the Michelle Jones thing honestly was to throw fans off, and probably was because Zendaya is not white, which is kind of messed up. But again, I'm just assuming. I don't know. You know what to say about assumers. I'll consider Tom Holland in a dress with makeup and a red wig an improvement to Kirsten freaking Dunst. I don't think Kirsten Dunst is a bad actress, nor do I think she's ugly. I used to have a crush on Kirsten Dunst, okay? Back when I was little watching Spider-Man, I was like, I love that woman, you know? But I just think it was the way that she was written. The character was just bad. They'll probably reveal her name is Mary Jane at the end of Far From Home joke. Maybe. What if Harry Osborn was black? Would he receive the same reception that Zendaya would? If Harry Osborn was black, absolutely. If, like, for example, in Spider-Man 3, you know, they announced that some kid from Detroit named Venom 2 Million was playing Harry Osborn, I think people would have a fit. Absolutely. But I got the waves, though. You know, I got them Osborn curls, you know, so I can... What up, Marvel? How you doing? Okay. As long as the actors are properly portraying the characters' personalities, then I don't have a problem with the look of the actors. Okay. She did something similar around the time of Homecoming. Oh, so Zendaya changed her hair. I didn't know that. And then John Watts posted a picture of himself with the caption, "You hit the jackpot." Oh, well, John Watts. See, Zendaya already confirmed it. Then John Watts just confirmed it. Listen, she is Mary Jane. And for those of y'all that have a problem with it, just don't see the movie. Just don't see the movie. Okay. He said, Peter likes his girls with some color. First Liz, then MJ. Zendaya version. That's funny. Diversity is a joke in Hollywood. It just means no more white people. So, Vic's son said, diversity is a joke in Hollywood. It just means no more white people. You know, I'm so sorry you have that idea, because that is the farthest thing from the truth. Literally, Google movies. and tell me what you... Actually, we're going to do it. Let's do it live. Let's do it together. Let's Google movies. I'm going to Google movies. Okay, we're going to go here. We're going to go back. We're going to Google movies. And let's see what we get. Movies. Oh, dang, you were right. You're right. Oh, yep, we got first thing. This is not white. You're right. Oh, and now it's a woman. This is terrible. Okay. Oh, finally. Okay, we got some Chris Pratt action, and right here, we got some animated movies. This is the problem too. Animated. Look at this. Look at all that. And this is crazy. Wow. The movies. It's not even people on here anymore. This is a huge deal. I am pissed. I am royally pissed. Let's look at some action movies. Maybe then we'll get there. Okay, wait a minute. Hold on. Okay, it's women. See, right here. Women. Let's keep it up. Black Panther. There's even black. And look at this one. Yep. It's diversity is a joke. It just means what you said. I'm sorry you have that perception, but that is the farthest thing from the truth. That is the farthest thing from the truth. And it's so interesting that this is a new narrative too. It's like 10 years ago, this wasn't even a conversation. Now all of a sudden, because things are changing, and it's a shock. Now it's noticeable. Before, people of color noticed that it was all white people, but whenever there's a black person, we all notice it because it's so rare. If it was normal, nobody would talk. It wouldn't be a thing. But because it's rare, now it's a thing. Now there's forced diversity. Now there's this. Now there's that. Because we notice it. But again, before it wasn't forced whiteness. It wasn't forced whiteness. But when the thing is the other way, now it's forced. Again, that's an interesting perspective. Spidey Life. My issue with her has nothing to do with race. It's the fact that she's simply not an accurate MJ. And the next comment, not accurate, bro. What? Not an accurate MJ, by the way. We only got her in one movie as a good performance and not a damsel in distress. Blah blah blah. Did you get it? You didn't get it. Okay. But isn't the movies barring the comic book characters? Well, they're not barring Peter Parker, Aunt May, Mysterio, Vulture, Shocker, both of the Shockers, Scorpion, Ned Leeds. They're not barring... these characters that I just named are from the comics, so they're not barring the comic book characters. Yeah. But, whatever. I don't know. Yep, not accurate. She is her own character, Michelle Jones. Keep it that way. Stop trying to force her into being Mary Jane. It's just so interesting, that sentiment. She is her. Listen, she's not Mary Jane. I don't care what you say. Her name is Michelle Jones. It's like, if she had red hair and was white, you wouldn't be sitting there. You'd be like, dude, she clearly is Mary Jane. But because she's not, it's like, or because she doesn't, it's like, she's not Mary Jane. I don't care what you say. She's not Mary. It's like, she's not my Mary Jane. Again, you can have that sentiment. She can say, she's probably going to even use the phrase tiger in the film. And you're still going to go, she's not Mary Jane. It doesn't matter. She's not Mary Jane. She's her own person. Forget it. And she is, which is, I have no problem with that. I have absolutely no problem with that. He said, honestly, I have a ton of issues with MCU Spider-Man, but I can't talk about my opinion without everyone getting on my shit. Listen, people have problems with the Marvel Cinematic Universe Spider-Man. I personally don't. I didn't like the fact that he didn't make his own suit, and like in the second movie, he's making his own suit, but using Tony Stark's tech, apparently, which doesn't excite me either. However, I think the core of the character really shines through in the Marvel Cinematic Universe's version of Spider-Man. And I can make a video about that. We can actually talk about that. That'd be really interesting. Because personally, I think that Tom Holland's Spider-Man is more true to the character than Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire, which is nuts because people don't have that same sentiment. But yeah, and the reason for that, and I'll briefly say it here, then I'll get into it at a later date. But it's because, quite frankly, Spider-Man is a kid from Queens, and Tom Holland is a kid from Queens. He plays that. That is it. He plays a kid from Queens. He's a normal kid from Queens who is incredibly intelligent and has powers. That is, now you could say, but Tobey Maguire he was that. Listen, when I think of Tobey Maguire, I don't think of him as a kid from Queens. He was kind of sappy, and a little soft. He's a little soft. And then Andrew Garfield was a little weird. He was a weird kind of Spider-Man. Again, this is just the kind of the way the characters were written. It's not necessarily dealing with like the portrayal. Like I'm not talking about the actors. I'm more so talking about just the way the characters are framed in the films and the writing. It was just a little odd. Tom Holland, he is a kid from Queens, and they really, really captured that. And that to me is Spider-Man. He is a normal kid from Queens, a normal kid. Like Tom Holland's Spider-Man, he likes movies. He talks about movies. He his best friend and him like build things together. Like he's a kid. That is so dope. And for me, that is Spider-Man. But I'll go into detail about that on another time. Maybe I should catch up. Let me catch up. I'm gonna scroll all the way down. And for those of you, if I missed your questions or missed your statements that you want me to reread it, just retype it. Actually, let me scroll up a little bit more. Season 3 was gonna. Oh, you're talking about Spectacular Spider-Man, bro. That was gonna be so good. It could come back, and I think it might. I think Spectacular Spider-Man could come back. I know that's crazy. I know. Why do I think that? I don't know. I think that Sony, they're leaning into the TV thing as well as the films, and it would behoove them to bring it back, and they could bring it back. And they know there's a lot of interest in that series. I think it could come back. That would be amazing. What if it had like a realistic like art style too? Like I would love for them to like put a lot of money into a television show, and it would look like dude, wouldn't it be dope to have a show like in the style of like Alex Ross's paintings? Like I know they would never do that, but that would be so cool. I'm not saying make Spectacular Spider-Man look like that, but I want it to come back. That'd be a dope show. I haven't watched the Spider-Man cartoon probably since I binged Spectacular when I was 10. Yeah, these new Spider-Man shows, I tried to watch them. I watched one episode or a few episodes of Ultimate Spider-Man, terrible. I watched like one episode of Marvel's Spider-Man. I was like, yeah, I'm good. So, yeah. Do you think we will see Norman Osborn or Oscorp or Far From Home? I do think we will get Oscorp and a mention of Osborn. Again, people, this is so crazy, and like that's why I called Norman Osborn should be the villain for the Marvel Cinematic Universe after Thanos way back. You can go to my videos and scroll. This is why you subscribe to me, bro. I'm giving you all the info before, okay? Because listen, I know. I don't. I love telling stories, and I can guess where they're going to go because I myself am a writer and everything. So, yeah. Dan Rob GT 500, how's it going, Vin? Yo, it's going. We almost at an hour, y'all. When we hit that hour mark, I'm gonna bring it down because, your boy is tired. I had a hard work day. We was working. Let's be honest, Ned Leeds is basically Gank. Yeah, he is. Thought having the Tiger mascot run by before she said, "My friends call me MJ," was really clever in Homecoming. I didn't even notice that. So look at you. I agree on the Tom Holland perspective. As long as Spider-Man is putting people before himself and not being a douche like in TASM 2, he's my Spider-Man. I hope Michael Mando returns as Matt Gargan. He was the post-credit scene of Homecoming, so they should follow that up in Far From Home. Yeah, they're gonna probably do a Sinister Six eventually. I didn't like Tobey Maguire that much. I prefer Garfield. Holland is my favorite though. Okay. The problem I have with Homecoming is that it barely had any consequence. Some scenes that are supposed to be serious are played off as jokes, like Aunt May finding out he's Spider-Man. See, now I actually have that critique for the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe, except for Infinity War, um, except for Winter Soldier, except for Civil War, and actually except for Homecoming. I think Homecoming, when things got serious, they turned off the jokes and things got serious. Uh, so I actually disagree. I don't think it was played for jokes. I think the Aunt May thing was played for jokes, but also was kind of realistic. Like, imagine you walk in, like, it's kind of like, it's like, what the, it was funny though. It was funny, but I don't think it was. I don't think like that is a bad thing. What are some things that you thought were played for jokes that could have been serious in the film? I don't think that that part with Aunt May catching him was bad, because honestly that's how I probably would have reacted to it. That's how my parents would have reacted. My mother definitely would have reacted exactly like that. Yep. So I personally don't think it was it didn't have consequences. The only thing I don't like is the fact that Peter has a high-tech suit that he did not create. Um, and I want Peter to get his own suit and make his own suit. That's what I want. And it not be high-tech. But, oh well. Toby never quipped while in combat. That's my only gripe. Yeah, he did. Here's your change. And, oh, nice outfit. Did your husband buy it for you? It's, that. But other than that, yeah, he didn't really. It was just that was the writing though. Again, that's not his fault. That was just the way it was written. Somebody put a link in the chat. It was a yeah. I've seen Spider-Man this. I've seen High Top Films. I know High Top Films is. I actually love this video, but I don't agree with it. There's actually a video that I could show you that like says the opposite. I mean, everybody has their own opinion. I don't think anyone is wrong. I just have my own opinion, and I disagree with that one. So, yeah. I don't understand why she's called Mary Jane. She said in Spider-Man Homecoming she was Michelle Jones or Zendaya. Okay, her real name is Zendaya. That's the actress's name. In the movie, her name is Michelle, and she says her friends call her MJ. She's not called Mary Jane yet, officially, first of all. Like, that's where I'm just saying she is Mary Jane. Yeah. And I was saying that her name could be Michelle because she goes by that due to her being bullied. Mary Jane, weed, marijuana, people were probably making fun of her in terms of the story. People were making fun of the character, and she decides, you know what, forget all y'all, I'm about to do my own thing, I'm about to be a loner, my name is Michelle, leave me alone. And I think that's probably the storyline of her character. Like, she goes by Michelle because people bullied her for being Mary Jane, and that's why she don't mess with nobody. That's why she's a loner. And Peter and her are gonna probably become really good friends, and she's gonna blossom. And I'm Mary Jane, and she's gonna paint her hair red and not be, all scary or whatever. I don't understand why. So yeah, I don't think that they'll make Osborn Green Goblin. Unfortunately, they just make him Iron Patriot and do Dark Avengers. I think actually that they will do Goblin. I think that you build Norman to be the big baddie of the universe, or and then they fight him, and it's like team versus team. And Norman's probably gonna get. I'm gonna make a video about this too. That's when we're gonna get the Mandarin back, the real Mandarin. We're gonna get these things. It's going to be on his team versus team. Ultimately, Norman loses because of Spider-Man. That starts that rivalry, Norman Osborn versus Peter Parker. And then you do a Spider-Man film where that consequence actually happens. The consequence of that rivalry takes place. And it is Green Goblin versus Spider-Man. Comic book accurate. Like, That would be so dope. I would probably, that would get my interest. I think Marvel, though, they really want to push Spider-Man in a different direction too. I think they want to tell the stories of Spider-Man. That is the reason why comic book fans love Spider-Man, and Green Goblin is a big reason. Like, he's a part of that those stories. He's a part of it. So I think, yeah, I think they're definitely gonna do it. And if they don't, it'd be so stupid, and I'd be so hurt. But they should. They should. Uh, MCU Spider-Man doesn't worry about money problem. Hopefully they fix that in Far From Home. I mean, he's a kid right now. He's a kid. That's not to say Spider-Man didn't worry about money when he was a kid, but you know, he's a kid. He's first dealing with Tony Stark, and it's not to say that because I did think about that. Like, how is he going to deal with the money thing? But perhaps what I would do, I would just go down the route of him wanting to be by himself. Like, you know, he saves the world. He stops Norman. And then he's like, you know what? I got this. I'm a person. I don't want to live in the shadow of Tony Stark. And I think that's where they're kind of building him to, like, him to be his own person and him to realize that he can be his own person. They kind of hinted at that at the end of Homecoming. I think they're going to continue that. He wants to be his own person and not fill the shoes of Iron Man and just be Spider-Man. And I think that's going to be how we get to that area of he got financial problems because he decided that he was going to be a normal person. And that also would be in line with the character. And I just see that. I see that in the trajectory. If I was telling the story, that's where I would go. And they probably are going to go there. If they don't, I don't know what they're going to do. I hate how the MCU Spider-Man doesn't have spider sense. Well, he does. We saw that in Infinity War. The hair stood up. It was spider sense, definitely. I'm hoping Far From Home increases the stakes and consequences, which I have a feeling it will, probably. I'm pretty sure he does have, talking about that. That new Goblin, they can't give us Norman and no Goblin. Yeah, but I still want to know officially, okay, talking about the spider sense. I think we'll first see real Mandarin in Shang-Chi, probably. Black Peter Parker would be interesting. Okay. Vic's son, Miles Morales. Of course she would go there. He doesn't need to worry about them yet. They'll deal with it when he goes to college. I know what you're talking about. Look at Mysterio. He looks right out of the comic. Just imagine Gabi, Marvel. Marvel will make it work. I think they will. And I think it'll be kind of terrifying, actually. Ooh, you know what I want to see, y'all? I want to see on the big screen. Then I'm about to get this in this, wrap this live stream up. But, y'all, I want to see. Hold on. Redo comics. Ooh, this is scary. Ooh. Oh my god. I want to see something like that. Yo, I want to see something like that. I want to see, like, the Goblin, the Green Goblin, like, terrifying. I'm talking about terrifying. Like, imagine a scene where, like, Peter is, like, sitting down and you just see, and it's just a darkness, you know, maybe he's laying down to sleep, and then you just see, like, that appear out of the shadow and, like, just try to kill him, or it's like a nightmare sequence. That would be so dope. Man, dog. And then, you know who I was thinking about? So, I don't really like doing the fan casting stuff, but I think for Norman Osborn, they gotta get somebody crazy. They gotta get somebody like, you know, Matthew McConaughey is what people are expecting. But you know who they should get, dog? If they were to get this person, everybody would tune into this movie. And you, like, make the character, because the character is a deep, dope character. You could even give this character his own movie. I think Norman Osborn is that rich in terms of his characterization and who he is. But do you know who they should get, bro? If they were to get this person, I promise you, everybody would go to see this movie. They wouldn't care if it's Spider-Man, a superhero movie. Not like, everybody would go see this film if they were to get this person. Like, I'm gonna show you who this person is. If they were to get I'm playing with you. If they were to get Leonardo DiCaprio, bro, that would be insane. And I think that's how you get like the attention of people with the next phase. You got to get a crazy actor. I'm talking about a dope actor that everybody loves. You say Leonardo DiCaprio is the villain of Phase 4. Everybody that don't care about Marvel, guess what they about to do? They about to go right back to watch Marvel. I already figured it out. And if I figured it out, me, black kid from Detroit, oh, I know Marvel figured it out. Because now they got Sony. Sony be getting the big people, you know. Marvel, you know, they get their big people, you know, but Sony be like, listen, we Sony. Y'all want Jake Gyllenhaal? Come on, Jake, come on. We Sony. Michael Keaton, come here. We Sony, bro. We Sony. Sony go. Marvel, who you want? Yeah, okay, Leo, come here. Like, dog. Can y'all think about that? Think about him as Gabi, as Norman Osborn. 3 films. Like you do the first one, you know, can be like in the latter half of Phase 4, like they keep talking about Norman. You know, we don't see it, then it's revealed, like he does a press conference, you know, this is Norman Osborn, he's talking, you know, about anything or everything. And then you do that next movie is that Avengers movie where it's the Avengers team versus his team. And then he's beaten. And he's like this, he's basically like the Wolf of Wall Street. He's basically like that character, you know. And then he's beaten and his psyche snaps because he was just beaten. He's this egotistical person. He's like Tony Stark, but on this whole deranged level. And this kid beat him, thwarted his plans. Who is this kid? Hold on. Who is this kid? And I gotta kill him. And I would do that by any means necessary. If I gotta take more of this serum, I'm gonna do it. And it just breaks him more. It cracks him. You do this middle ground of like, on one hand he's in the costume, then on the other hand he mutates. Maybe that's the final fight or something like that. I wrote that. I'm just stealing what I wrote for the Amazing Spider-Man 3 that I never uploaded. But you know, you do that. Yo, that would be flames. That would be flames. That would be flames, bro. Do you think we'll ever see a live-action Spider-Verse movie? Maybe. Oh, and you said, who do you think should play Norman Osborn? I just answered that question. Wasn't his hair rising caused by the ship in New York? Wasn't his hair rising caused by the ship in New York? You talking about Norman Osborn? I'm not sure about that one. I don't know. Peter Parker in Far From Home. The world needs the next Iron Man. In the movie, we see a press conference, Iron Patriot suit at Oscorp and Norman Osborn. I am the new Iron Man. That'd be dope. So yeah, y'all. Yes. That's it. That's the end, y'all. I want to thank y'all. Somebody said that's a cute idea. No, he said I'd much rather see Goblin transformation than just crackhead teeth in a green exosuit. Yeah. So yeah, y'all. What y'all think of that? Somebody said Bryan Cranston. I think he's too old, bro. He's too old. You gotta have somebody like that's got that. Just got that pull. Someone that's young. Someone that could match Robert Downey Jr. And I'm not saying, like, there are tons of actors that could in terms of a stardom, but Leonardo DiCaprio is a whole nother level because he's an actor. People go to see Leonardo DiCaprio films. Like, you make a superhero movie that's a Leonardo DiCaprio film, and he's playing the villain. Yo, that's like the Joker movie with Joaquin Phoenix. It's a whole nother level. It's like people are interested in that. Is dope. That is amazing. Oh my God. Somebody said Liam Neeson. Liam Neeson is, I mean, maybe. But I think Leonardo DiCaprio would change the game. Change the game. Tommy Lee Jones, he's too old though. He's too old. DiCaprio, bro, damn, wow, yeah. I went there. I went there. I went there. But yeah, so that's it, y'all. I want to thank y'all for watching me at this live 1:34 a.m. live stream with your boy Venom. Matthew McConaughey, he would be good Norman, but I was thinking on this whole nother level. Like, let's get Leo. Let's get Leo. And dog, I'll be so cool to see like Norman Osborn and Tony Stark. Like, oh, that'd be so cool. But they killed him. Spoiler. That's it, y'all. I want to thank y'all all for watching me on this video right here. Subscribe if you like this video, and if you want to stay up to date, and also if you want to like find out what's gonna happen in movies years beforehand, because that's what I do. Subscribe, hit the like button, share this video around with all your friends. Again, I am your boy Venom 2 Million, and we are about to go. Everybody, I want to thank y'all all for watching. Stay tuned. You never know when the next live stream will be. Shoot, it may even be tomorrow. Peace, y'all. Have a good one, y'all. Peace.